You have to help me. Ugh, I can't stay like this.
Oh, thank the gods.
Village was a touch livelier when I saw it last. Ain't saying much, though. Bitter cold and a persistent odor of fish. And that were just the people. Anything's better than Galvino's workshop. You ain't heard the old buzzard sing. Anyway, what about you? We seen lots coming through, trying to crack the battery, but no watchers. Then here's hoping you have better luck than all the poor sods that came before you. But don't let me keep you from the sights and sounds of Stalwart. They're easy to miss. Effigy's eyes, that man loved to talk. If it's sane and logical reasoning you're wanting, you're going to be disappointed. Ain't no sense in any of it. Mayhap you've heard of Coldmorn. Was a quiet, forgettable patch of the woods, till a pack of rabid clodhoppers set it afire. A farmer on the other side of the mountains woke up one day with his head all aflame and took it for the gibbering speech of his god. And so did a few thousand of his countrymen. So when he tired of Vorless fields and marched west, a horde of armed hicks followed. Bunch of fool nonsense is what I'm talking about. But if you know that much, then you've heard of Coldmorn. Ours was the village that let a few thousand of Widewind's troops pass through. They had us clean beaten numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that. Just look at Mercy Vale. They fought back. And now there ain't one stone standing atop another in the whole village. Besides, we asked the Duke for help. Told him Widewind's troops was coming through the mountains. Seems he had better uses for his soldiers. So we let Widewind's soldiers pass. Left him for the Duke to wrangle on his own terms. Was after the Godhammer made a fine grit out of Widewind, when Deerwoodens were running on rage and looking for something to burn. They came at dark, hundreds of folk. Every one of 'em mourning someone lost in the war. Must have decided it was our duty to escort their dead back to the wheel. They didn't light their torches till they had us surrounded. Time we saw 'em, there was a ring of fire closing around us. I woke, ran to the window. Whole village were a maze of flames. Couldn't see nothing for the smoke. And the screams. Most ran for the streets, got caught by the mob. Others hid, let their houses burn down around them. Hunting down the men and women what took part. Thought that much was clear. Sure. You want me to tell you straight? I found the men and women what destroyed my village, and I burned their houses down around them. Sometimes they was alone, and sometimes they wasn't. It were a mob that destroyed our village, but it was just one man that burned my families. Kept hoping I'd get to him as I was working my way through the rest of those maggots. No matter now, I suppose. Only kind of have with someone like him. Or me. Around about 13 years. Too long, you ask me. No other way to feel about the man who flayed my living soul. He'd spread butter on bread and claim he made something. Never been accused of modesty, that man. He managed to stuff my soul into this heap of bronze, true enough. Maybe that makes him a genius. Also makes him a son of a bitch. Every day. Just kept putting it off. It's not like either of us was going anywhere. Looked after his tools, cleaned the workshop, swung the sledgehammer. Oh, and snatched up travelers for his soul tinkering. All those other golems, where did you think they came from? But don't you worry. They were all bad folk. Just so you know, you got a real professional working for you. Yeah, I've had enough of him too. Stalwart's great this time of year. Beareth spells in bloom for a good 5 days, and the mountain squall actually blows the fish stench away from town. Better than staying at Galvino's anyway. I got a reputation. People in these little villages ain't the most open. Not yet. Plenty. But nothing you need to know. Believe what you want. I killed a lot of folk, but none of them was in Stalwart. Just 'cause I made of metal don't mean I got any special fondness for smiths and forges. No more than what Galvino already told you. For fancy dwarven poetry? None of them ever struck me as especially literate. And that's on you. I lost my sense of smell 13 years ago. Nothing specific. Everyone looks about the same when they got their fingers up. Only the last group, one before you. Couldn't put my finger on it, but they was dangerous. I ain't felt that way about anyone else walking through Galvino's door. That's murder, tracking, and the best materials for kindling. There weren't much to say about it. By my reckoning, that means it was pretty. Ma was a trapper, taught me to set snares and dress game. Dad was a tinker. I never had his patience. My brothers and sister, they was good folk too.
I'm here. I shall.
I'll keep an eye out.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
I'm here.
Arda.
It's past midnight. Go! To raid Ceres, or Defiance Bay, or fucking Air Glonfoth. I don't care! I'll tell them. Mayor Sina healed. The neighbors. Everyone.
About what?
The stealing. You think I haven't noticed the money missing from the fishery coffers? Or heard Tana talk about losing a golden duke? You can't be found when there's work to do, but every time those merchant wagons roll into town, you've got coin enough for a few bags of ripple sponge.
No, that's not.
Stalwart tolerates your sponge habit, but they won't abide your thieving.
You won't.
I will.
You take shelter in our village and then ransack it like a common thief? You'd better explain yourself! Any who put stock in the ravings of that bitter old fool deserve all the trouble they get. It was an accident. I was a failure and a wretch then. But I never would have killed anyone. Least of all my own kin. I gave her body to the lake, but I kept her bracelet to remember the cost of my own weakness. I ain't asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve any. My penance is my work on behalf of the village. You've seen the shape this place is in. Have mercy on Stalwart, if not on me. Let me do the work Arda would have done. That's my debt to Stalwart, and the only fitting way to honor my sister. Kept thinking I could get by this way, but I guess you're right. It's time they knew the truth about me.
I hope you've had some luck, and do take care with that device. It has a few What? So it works? What a day! But why these gems? I didn't think the device would be able to pick up inert Audra. I have to study this further. But all the same, it worked! At last! A breakthrough! With that Audra to work from, I can refine the enchantments. We'll be digging up iron, gold, Audra, all of it! This is going to change everything. Oh, and I won't leave you empty-handed, of course. Here, I had this set aside for supplies, but I don't think I'll be staying in... I won't forget all you've done for me. They'll hear about this back home, I promise you. Who knows?
Tell me.
Zawa is ready. Sure thing.
Yes? I'm here.
Watch yourself on the mountain. And these, I see. Is it done? Is he dead? Then it is done at last. Thank you, stranger. I can't say I ever hoped this day would come, but he was my son. Once. Yes. He was my son. It was a cruel trick of the gods to give him a gift that brought him such joy and then to twist it. Difficult as it must have been, you did what you had to. The people of Stallwart are that much safer for it. You've brought me what peace the gods will allow me. This served me well in my younger days, and I hope that it will do the same for you.
Yes?
Welcome.
You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret.
Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves.
Welcome. Have a seat by the fire if the...
Of course.
Does everyone else see that kraken?
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I still say? A little hardship ought to put some sense into that man. There. Get him to down that and he'll be right as rain. And you can tell him he owes you one. Back to warm your hands, eh? You all right? I won't serve.
Uh-huh. Didn't think there was anything more than lice and hoarfrost to these folk, but you had a look back there. What do you find when you're rooting around like that? Yeah? And I'll bet you could do the same to anyone in this village. Easy as looking at 'em. Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter by the name of Harmka. It sure does. He was one of them. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business. This man, Harmka, I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls. I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Cold Morn. But if I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy. I took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door, rough sides. I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part, point of pride for them. I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house, but when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home, my parents, and my brothers and sister. I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure, but you could look into his soul and find out. Mighty fine of you. Mighty fine indeed. Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us. People from little villages, they all...
Back to warm your hands, eh? What, the woodcutter? Sure do. Head west from the village, then go north. If you usually works a stand of trees out in the russet wood, though he steps out from time to time.
Well, what are we waiting for?
The only way to be free of revenge is to never pursue it. Turn the other way.
I shall.
You look like you've been in the wilds. You've saved my hide. I can't thank you enough, but I hope you'll take this. Here, as promised. Thanks again. With a little luck, I'll trade these blizzards in for a sea breeze soon enough.
I'm here. Yes?
Hello, sir.
Something I can do for you? Halfrick's got me straight.
attention. Sooner we get this done, sooner we can go.
We're hurrying, Captain Gregor. Honest.
Sir? Excuse me, sir. You all right?
Any progress with Devala? And I thought you were going to get rid of Devala. Not what she said is true. I had a gambling problem when I was younger. As for the boy, I didn't want to hurt him. I wish it had gone differently. But I'd do it again. Anything to keep from getting sent back to that place. Oh, thank the gods. And thank you most of all. Here, take... Got rid of that little fella, eh? Take this with my thanks. Anyway, what brings you back? Back to warm your hands, eh? With Baragon's clan go...
So, Maneha, I just...
Really?
You handle yourself very well
bless
on the
you.
field.
Give me.
Ugh, frothy. Hey, you did it! I can feel again! Oh, thank you. You're a saint among kith, and I owe you one, I know it. I would have... Hey, here. Now that my hands are working again, I've been stitching this together for... And now I'm...
Why, wait. Are you flirting with me?
Hey there. Let me know if you need anything. Not so brave now, are you? What? Did I spill something on myself?
I know I'm a little young, but
I'm here.
I've always been a quick study.
And I've always preferred women.
Hey there. Let me know if you need anything. Yes, fine. Haha. Take care.
Yes?
I take it you've met Galvino.
How much did the old snake pay you, Sina Hiod?
Maestro Galvino and I came to an agreement. It was for the good of Stalwart. I thought...
You thought you'd let a killer walk among us?
Let's go.
Enough.
What's on your mind? Before you go, trappers haven't seen Baragon's ogres for a spell. I hear we've got you to thank for that. Whole village is resting easier. Halfrick's cleaned up the rooms at the Grave's Rest, and Eaterin supply lines have finally opened up again. Thought you ought to know.
I sure hope you were right about killing Baragon.
Because when you leave us for milder lands, it's us or kin'll come after. Something else you need?
You had 5 siblings?
That's right. Between the 6 of us, I don't think the house has known a single day's quiet. Of course, a little chaos makes it far easier to get away with mischief.
Yes, I can imagine that comes in handy.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Sinove, please. If we go now, we can get behind the barricade. We won't do any good here.
We're gonna go down fighting. Anyone who feels differently can settle it with me right now. That name. It carries memories of death, war, fury, the taste of blood. What do you want with it? What trickery is this, stranger? You think a Pargrin would so easily betray her own people? You speak like one who knows me. Then you're not one of Zoltan's visiting merchants or Exandru's foreign zealots. You're one of us. Did I nod off? My, but I had the strangest dream. So much work to be done. Pardon me, but I'd better check on those miners. At the rate they're going, it'll be another year before they clear that blazing shaft.
Indeed.